All right, guys, there's a video about a cop pimping out his wife. Now, I'm going to say this before I start the video. I watched the video some time ago, and it was interviewing some pimps, and one of the pimps said, if you can't pimp out your wife, you're not meant for the game. So, let's get into it.
Corruption stories you're ever going to hear. For instance, the chief of police in this town got arrested for pimping out his wife online for $200 an hour.
The 29-year-old suspect also told investigators the former police chief was allegedly pimping his own wife for $200 to men.
Matter of fact, this place was so corrupt, they even arrested the police chief's mama.
Well, it's not every day a former chief of police and his mother are arrested, but that's the case in Johnson County.
I got a crazy story to tell you guys about. Welcome to Godly, Texas, home to one of the craziest public corruption scandals in the history of our country. So first, let's start at the beginning. This is Ashley Ketcherside. She's a local business owner and she wants to be active in the local school district. So she started joining everything: the long-range facility planning committee, the parent-teacher organization, the family community engagement committee, the athletic booster committee. She led the local cheerleading group. And last but not least, she joined the health advisory council that directs what sex education curriculum the school. And then on top of that, the businesses that she's claimed to be running, no one has ever seen them before. Now, the local police did a background check on Ashley and said she came up clean. But the parents said, hey, let's just do our own little check.
Lowe says some parents became suspicious of Ketcherside because she claimed to own multiple businesses, but information about those businesses was unknown.
What I tell y'all folks about females saying they own multiple businesses, as soon as you hear one of them say that, go ahead and start doing some digging. Do your own investigation. And that's the thing too, they never say what it is. It's like, oh, I own multiple businesses. What is it, man? Like what and then why are you broke? Why are you, well, obviously they're all right, middle class, but we get what I mean. Like every time I hear a female say she owns multiple businesses, they always broke. Like, what we talking about? So that's automatically a red flag right there. Oh, I own multiple businesses, but yet you have time to be on the parent teacher board. You get coaching cheerleader. You're lying on the set. So that's a dead giveaway. Never believe a female when they say they own multiple businesses, but yet they have a regular job and they doing this and doing that also on top of running a multiple businesses. Nah, man, get out of town.
Parents took it to investigate and came up with this.
A LexisNexis public record search reveals one of her email addresses matches the same email address on escort sites for a Lola Bree.
I Googled her email address, and that's how I was able to find the escort services.
Lola Bree's images are found on public websites. Some images are too risque to use in our report.
So obviously parents are shocked. Like, the school's hired an escort to teach our kids sex education. What the hell's going on here? But
I mean, to be fair, she was teaching the right course. So, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but she was teaching the right course. Just saying.
To be fair, being an escort in Texas is actually legal.
To be clear, escort sites are legal in Texas. Escorts charge for their companionship and time. However, if sex is exchanged for money, it's prostitution.
We don't know what kind of clients she comes into contact with or who she works for.
And she seemed to be a good escort. She got great reviews from clients.
Is also known as Lola Bree. One escort site says Lola Bree was active last month. Lola Bree has client reviews this year and reviews dating back a decade.
So she's running a successful escort business for over a decade, as you see. But there was another problem. She's a convicted prostitute. she was convicted twice.
Tarrant County court documents obtained by Fox 4 reveal Ashley Ketcherside, maiden name Ashley Villalobos, was found guilty of prostitution in 2012 and 2016. In 2016, regarding a separate matter, a judge signed an injunction not allowing specific children to visit any place of Ashley Villalobos' residence because she was a known prostitute.
So the school district is now in shock and horror. They hired a convicted prostitute where a judge said, don't let children around her because she's a convicted, known prostitute. And guess what they did? They hired her and put her around children. So the good people at the school district had to fire her from all the committees.
A woman who is helping decide sex education curriculum and more in the Godly ISD is now removed from multiple positions within the school district because she's a convicted prostitute.
A Fox 4 investigation reveals she's also advertising herself online as an escort.
The discovery of a convicted prostitute being on multiple school committees and volunteer groups raises concern about background checks within Godly ISD and districts throughout the state of Texas.
So we had a two-time convicted prostitute who was able to get on some school committees and teach kids about sex education. She's gone now. You think that's the end of the story. But this is where these stories start. Now, Ashley, the twice convicted prostitute, decided to get revenge on the woman she said outed her. Her name is Kayla Lane.
Meet political enemy number one, Kayla Lane, a trustee of the Godly ISD School Board.
For whatever reason, she has targeted me for the last several years.
Lane says things were friendly with Ashley and Michael Ketcherside until she and others fought to have.
So, I mean, I don't know the backstory. I don't know. She probably just didn't like, you know how females are. This is going to put that out there. She probably didn't like her or something. They was beefing off of that. Or she probably was trying to get her position. That does happen, too, in those situations when they're in school boards, stuff like that. You got people that's, you know how it is. It's just life, right? I mean, you have a job, you probably want to be a manager, a supervisor, you got somebody hating on you or trying to compete, not necessarily hating on you, but they're trying to compete also. But in this case, more than likely, she probably didn't like her or she won her position. So, but it's nothing major, right? It's nothing, I mean, it was nothing physical, just like this typical stuff in that situation. But anyway, she had enough. She did a background check on her and found out that she's pushing P for a profit.
Have Ashley removed from school committees.
Hey guys, it's me, Ashley Ketcherside.
The war kept brewing, especially on Ashley's podcast. The 41-year-old wife and mother of three proved that she was not afraid to take on Lane and the other officials.
You know, that's the crazy part. I didn't catch that part. I ain't know she had kids. So, man, that's of course, you know, she ain't worried about the kids, but I mean, your mom being in sex work, and then obviously today is impossible to hide it. You know, kids find out, that's a wrap, man. It's like, you know, they dad's gonna try to get at her, you know, if they ain't already doing it already. At the end of the day, it's number free publicity for her. So she, you know, at the end of the day, she still gonna get her clients. If anything, she gonna get more clients. But you know, the kids gonna bully. All them kids gonna get bullied all the way until they finish school. They gonna get bullied. So that sucks for them. And then of course, you know, the kids, the classmates, they parents are gonna, the father's gonna go get in on the action as well. Because at the end of the day, it's like, I know I say a lot of stuff about women. You know, after 26, they hit the wall. Well, at 26, they hit the wall. But you know, for a typical woman, if you just stay in shape, and then you know, at the end of the day, you know that they woman part is a muscle. If they're a pro, they know what to do with it. They know how to keep that how to gain and keep that death grip. But a lot of females, they don't know nothing about that, so they wonder why they single. And a lot of guys don't tell them. They just stop talking to her. They ghost her. Me, I'm gonna tell you. I told you guys before I had a story that I dealt with a female, and you know, it's in one of my old videos, but I talked about that and actually confronted her about that. But a lot of guys, they won't do that. They'll just ghost her. So, you know, like her, she a good looking chick. You know, of course she look even better with the makeup, but she's still a good looking chick. And she petite too, so it's like she has the advantage. You know what I mean? Not saying tall women can't be what they are, you know what I mean? But a chick like that, she's petite, and you know what I mean? Like, yeah, and she got a death grip. She gonna always be good. She always gonna be in business. So keep in mind, she in her 40s, and by the looks of it, she's still doing it in her 40s, and she got a husband or whatever. She gonna keep doing that until she can't no more. So I heard stories about women in their 70s and up and still pushing P. So that's not a surprise. But at the end of the day, regardless how old they are, if you just keep in shape, and then you maintain that death grip, you're gonna be all right. That's the honest truth. But this is just free publicity for her. And as far as the kids will get destroyed. They literally have to move to a whole nother state. That's unless you move to they stay in Texas, you move somewhere where internet is not heard of and they still getting water from the well. I mean, that's about it. But even still, those are small towns. So they do move over there, word get around quick. So that's because they don't have internet or whatever. Nah, they'll find out real quick what's going on with us. So it's just one of them things, man. But the kids out there, they're gonna forever be bullied. So they the one that's taking the loss on this, a big loss.
Lane's name frequently came up as Ashley Ketcherside says that she was out to prove the truth.
So as you saw, she did a podcast. She's all over the internet. I'm innocent, and Lane is bad. But eventually something strange happened. See, Lane had some interesting pictures that she was sharing between her and her husband, but all of a sudden, those pictures became public and were placed on Facebook.
Miss Ketcherside somehow received private photos of me that she was using maliciously to paint some kind of false picture of allegations to honestly deflect from her own behavior.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this right now. It ain't one of them the kind of YouTube channels. It's nothing out of the ordinary. They're gonna show the pictures, but it's like, okay, this is normal pictures. She got a picture where she feel like she feeling cute or whatever. But other than that, it's like she not doing porn, bro. Like, so anybody's about to, oh man, AMA about to show some porn. Nah. It's just some regular old photos, you know what I mean? Her in a swimsuit and just, it's nothing out there. She's not a prostitute. So a prostitute trying to one up a non-prostitute is like, no matter how she look or whatever, it's like, you ain't gonna win. So again, she's trying to put the attention on her. It's like, man, you're a prostitute, she's not. So, I mean, and then the pictures you show is nothing. It's like, okay, this is regular photos. Like, what's the big deal? But at the end of the day, she's getting free publicity. And I'm going to say this again, her kids are taking a major loss. And I'm pretty sure they still in elementary or whatever, middle school. It gets worse. It gets worse. So, them kids are, man, they going to get it. And then when they going through something like that, when you getting bullied like that, it seems like the days go by, even it seemed longer. So the fact that they got to go years being bullied, and then it's true. It's like, them being teased about their mom being a prostitute. Then, of course, when the kids get older, they going to have some money, so they're going to try to, it gets real nasty, man. So,
She's talking about a picture of her in a swimsuit. As a courtesy, we are not showing you the entire image. Lane claims Ashley released it in a community chat group to embarrass her, saying the trustee had posted it to a site for review. Lane also alleges that someone at the Godley Police Department used their position to gain access to her family's personal photos, to weaponize them.
Now, what happened to Trustee Lane is illegal. If someone finds intimate pictures of someone, they're just not allowed to publish them on the internet. That's what's called revenge porn. So, Lane did something very smart. She put a package together for the local police department. Here's all the evidence of the revenge porn, and then she also put a package together of, here's all the evidence that Ashley Ketcherside is still an active prostitute. Here are her listings on the sites. Here are the men's reviews. Here are the raunchy pictures. She's an active prostitute, and you should investigate that too. So,
I got to put this in there. Now, you can believe me or not, you have two types of prostitutes. You have the one who's in love with it, and you have the ones who's doing it because they down bad. Now, obviously for her, she don't need to do this. So that lets you know she's in love with, the profession. And that's cool. That's fine. Like you got the porn stars. You got the porn stars who do it, who takes it seriously. You got the ones who's down bad. Those are the ones who get coked up, doped up, and they end up, offering themselves later on down the road. Those are the ones, okay, they wasn't trying to do it for real. They was trying to make some money, and then they thought they would get back on their feet, but the industry took over, and then, it just chewed them up and spit them out. Then you got the ones who still doing it, or the ones who, actually retired. Those are the ones who did it for the love of the game. So she's obviously doing it for the love of the game. Because remember, her husband worked. If anything, she's on the school board or whatever, and she got this other stuff that she's involved with the school. So that alone is fine. So the fact that you got that going on and your husband working on top of that, and then you still make time to prostitute, that means, you know, she's in love with the game. Nothing wrong with that. So like I said, keep in mind you only got two of them. So you got the ones who's in love with the game who keep doing it until they can't do it no more, and you got the ones who's down bad. So that's the difference.
When she went to the police department said they're not investigating. There's nothing to see here.
This is from the Godley Police Department. They told Fox 4 that, quote, they are generally aware of the allegations. However, there is no official criminal investigation at this time based on the allegations alone.
The trustee says she told Johnson County investigators, including former Godley Police Chief Matthew Cantrell and former Officer Solomon Omatoya, that Ashley was active in more places than their feud.
I always speculated that they were at minimum covering for her because they refused to investigate.
So the police department said there's nothing to see here, but Lane is like, what are you talking about? It's obvious this is revenge porn. It's obvious she's still a prostitute. So Lane took that same package she gave to the local police department and she took it to the newly elected district attorney.
Lane got the ear of the new Johnson Somerville County District Attorney about an unrelated crime related to the school system. She also told Tim Good they'd found images, reviews, social media, an OnlyFans account, and more linked to Ashley, also known as Lola Bree.
So look at all that probable cause. So the district attorney got a search warrant to search Ashley Ketcherside's house. And they found a treasure trove of information. Now, before we get into the video of the search warrant, here's a quick message from this.
That's not a request.
I'm going to call my attorney.
You can call them, your cell phone's being seized as well.
In a now deleted post to her husband's Facebook account, the authorities rolled up on March 31st with a search warrant.
During a search of their Godley home last week, investigators say they discovered a burner phone where the affidavit states Ashley conducted most of her illegal prostitution activity. Any clue what they may have found on that would have been incriminating?
I don't know.
Well, investigators found some real hot, juicy stuff on that phone, like the fact that a lot of the police department out there in that town was paying Ashley Ketcherside for sex.
Affidavit alleges the Ketchersides have been running the operation for nearly 10 years, and Ashley had a burner phone where she and her husband arranged for clients and Johns. Investigators also allegedly connected the Ketchersides to the former officer and chief with the same phone. Omatoya, per the court document, allegedly solicited Ashley for sex in exchange for doing yard work or babysitting her children. A discount considering her alleged rate is $1,000 per hour.
And another crazy thing they found on that burner phone is that the chief of police at the time, was also pimping out his wife for $200 an hour.
Yeah, keep that pimping strong. I already did the math, so off her husband, you know, charging $200 per hour with his wife. Let's say if she gets 40 clients, I'm just saying just off of him, you know, pimping out. Let's say if she gets 40 clients a year, which is pretty low, you know, I mean, for a street beater. But just keep in mind, this is her husband pimping out. So, and you gotta remember, like, you have return clients or whatever like that as well. It came out to be over what, 200 grand. I think I did the math on that. So let me double check. So her, I'm not, because an hour that's all you need. You can get 2 rounds in an hour. So and said what 10 years? No. So yeah, so 40, which is, you know, pretty low, but the $1,000 one, I'm gonna say this too, because, you know, that's a lot, but she know what she doing, because she been doing it for, you know, for 10 years, and, you know, they stay in like a little somewhat small town. I'm gonna say that the reason why she's charging $1,000 is because she know that she's pretty much the top chick in that neighborhood or in that town or whatever. So it's supply and demand. You know, the lady that was interviewing, the white lady that was interviewing, she not bad looking, but, you know, she's a big girl. So a lot of times we go to them small towns, you don't see, well, petite women, let alone fit women. That's like pretty much kind of unheard of. So the fact that she looks the way she does, and regardless of her age, she still look great. She know, okay, well, I'm the best looking chick in the town. So she gonna charge what, obviously she gonna charge what people willing to pay. So, she been doing this for 10 years, probably longer than that, but 10 years, that's what they dug up. So during the time she was there, she did her research and found, okay, well, shoot, I'm the only fit chick here, so I'm gonna see how much I can get. So she probably charging, 3 whatever, and then she started going up, keep going up to the point where, okay, this the magic number. So she charging 1,000, and then she still got clients coming in, because obviously she don't want to be, I don't know, she probably just, well, she don't got no time now, because she doing all the other stuff at the school while she prostituting on the side, but she want to get the most bang for her buck. So obviously she found the numbers 1,000, and she's still getting clients, and she probably don't get as much clients, but it's still fine, because instead of her charging less and then getting way more clients, she'll okay, I'm gonna charge more and get less clients. So that's better for you to do that anyway. So I don't know how much she making. Let's just say she get a client a month, let's say two weeks or whatever. That's 2,000 extra a month. 2,000 times. Let me do the math on that. I ain't trying to stretch the video, but just give y'all an example. So we're gonna just be generous and say she get she get 2 clients a month for the 1,000. So that's 24, and I'm gonna say 10, because they say if she been busting it open for 10 years. That's 240, and then on top of that's in 10 years. So I don't know. I don't know how many clients she been having. They're gonna find out or whatever. But I'm just being generous. But I'm gonna say she might did 4 clients a month. Let's just say that just out her charging 4,000 a client. So, and then we're gonna do this. So that's 480,000. If she had a client a week for 10 years straight, she had made over 480,000. Remember, it's tax free. So it's tax free. So of course, she's a female. She's spending money. She's making money. She's spending money. You know what I mean? So if she had a client a week just off 1,000, over 10 years she made 480K. And then her husband charging 200. I'm gonna say she, if he charged 200, I'm being real with you. She got him coming in for real. Not everybody coming. That's the thing about the small towns. Like you don't have a lot of. She won't have a lot of clients because there's not a lot of people there. If she go to the big city, she always gonna be booked up. But whatever, man. I'm just 200. Let's say she get like 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9. Let's say 12 clients a month. So that's 2,400. Yeah, so yeah, and like she gonna have a lot of repeat clients. Like, as the stories revealed that she a lot of the guys from the police station has been her clients as well. So it's one of them things. But anyway, just off her charging 1,000 per client or whatever. So I'm then maybe we go ahead and say she get a client a week. That's pretty generous, right? A client a week, 4,000. She did that for 10 years straight. She made over 480,000. Now, numbers going to fluctuate. You know how they go. Some days, months are going to be busy. Some days going to be slow because she's charging the bill. But that's why her husband came in and say, well, shit, let me go ahead and get 200. I know I can get 200. That's nothing. And run it up. So, but yeah, it's one of them things, man. It's just, yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of them police officers, depending on how many that's involved, that will determine if they're going to fire them or not. So if it's a lot of them, like let's say the whole male police force is involved, they're not going to fire all of them because they got to replace them, and it's going to take time, and crime will go through the roof or whatever. I'm not saying it's a dangerous city, a town, whatever they is. But you know what I mean? Like, they just can't fire a whole police force like that. Like, if it's a big police force, now, if it's like 4 or 3 of them, they'll fire 2 of them, they'll suspend, they'll do some stuff like that. So
Former police chief was allegedly pimping his own wife for $200 to men. That's what court documents.
Now, I know that sounds shocking, but the police then raided the police chief's home because they were like, this is unbelievable. The police chief is pimping out his wife for $200 an hour, but she confirmed it. She confirmed, yeah, my husband, the chief of police, was pimping me out for about $200 an hour.
The affidavit says the wife confirmed the incident during an interview and search of the couple's Cleburne home last week, and that $200 was received via Cash App. The affidavit also says investigators reviewed a cell phone belonging to Cantrell's wife, and that it was, quote, immediately apparent she was being prepared for escort-related activity by Ashley Ketcherside.
So just so we recap, the chief of police is involved in this prostitution ring and is pimping out his own wife.
I gotta bring this up because normally, you see how he look, right? So, and I heard this before, guys that look like him, not the complexion, but just the size, they can't perform. So it makes sense for him to be like, okay, well, I can't, I can't get none, so I might as well go ahead and, just go ahead and rent her out. Which makes sense because, like, okay, you just got to. She doing it regardless, right? But it's like, instead of him being upset about it, he went ahead and went along with it because, like, well, I can't sleep with her. You know what I mean? Like, as far as, how them other guys are doing it, he can't do that. So he like, well, he just pretty much just got something to look at or whatever. So it made sense for him to go ahead and just rent her out. But that's pretty common. The bigger these guys get, the less chance of them performing. So it's no surprise. I mean, he looked like he never did a push-up day in his life, and you look at him like, well, she already doing it. I'm going to go ahead and just go along with it. That's normally what happens. So, of course, if the guy was in shape or whatever, he wouldn't have, I don't know. You got some simps out there. I would say that wouldn't have happened, but you got some simps that still let her do her thing on the side while they still with her. So you got some guys like that. But him, being the way he is, I'm not surprised that he went along with the program. So I wonder if that was a white woman, would he have did the same thing? But I don't know. You got some guys, what do they call them, cooks? That's what they call Larry Wills or whatever. You got some guys that like watch, other guys plow their woman. So that's the thing too. So, but yeah.
You have another officer who's doing yard work and babysitting for the Ketcherside so he can get a discount on sex rates. Ketcherside is also pimping out the chief's wife to other men so she can make some money. The DA's office, along with the state police, decided, let's just start making some arrests and started rounding these people up.
New arrests and new details emerging in a North Texas prostitution investigation. Former Godly Police Chief Matthew Cantrell and former Officer Solomon Omatoya, both arrested and now out of jail, as investigators outline allegations in newly obtained court documents.
Investigators searched the Ketcherside's home last month. Court documents reveal they seized Ashley's burner phone and uncovered a large number of prostitution clients, including former Officer Omatoya, who solicited Ashley for sex in exchange for doing yard work and other favors. Omatoya led investigators to former Chief Cantrell. According to the documents, investigators uncovered Godly police officers and their spouses would frequently spend time at Ashley and Michael's residence, where Ashley was reportedly preparing another woman for prostitution.
Now, there's been more arrests in this situation, and a lot of the officers were involved in this prostitution scheme. And this was so deeply ingrained in this town, even the police chief's mama, she was arrested.
But where does Matthew Cantrell's mother, Regina Cantrell, come into the picture? Well, Regina Cantrell worked at the Johnson County Jail, and in the days before investigators raided her son's home, Regina Cantrell allegedly monitored jail records to see if arrest warrants were being issued for her son. She's charged with misuse of official information.
Okay, so let me give you a quick recap. The police chief, he was arrested for promoting prostitution, organized crime, and pimping out his own wife, which is insane. The police chief's mother was also arrested for illegally running warrant checks to try to give her son the heads up that the police were coming to arrest him. A sergeant was arrested on RICO violations. He was part of the criminal organization. The police officer, the one that was babysitting and doing yard work for sex, he was arrested. And obviously the Ketcherside, the husband and wife team who are running this illegal prostitution ring for over 10 years, they got caught up too. Now, more arrests have to be coming. And the reason why is because they have a burner phone. And that burner phone shows all these clients contacting Ashley Ketcherside to get sex from women. The police chief's wife, for instance. All those clients are going to be charged with soliciting prostitution. The new DA lucked up into one of the biggest public corruption cases, I think, in the history of Texas.
I'm going to say this right now. She has hundreds of clients. I'm gonna say that right now. Now, 1,000 or 2,000, 200. That's the options you have. And of course, she give you a discount. If you babysit and cut the grass, you do household chores for her. But yeah, with the $200 alone, that's what got her that huge client base, because $200, man, you'll have dudes that come over there every week. You know what I mean? Take $200 of the chicken, they're gonna keep it pushing. So, yeah, it's gonna be hundreds. That's a fact. So she had pretty much not all the guys. I don't know. She probably had all the guys there in the police station tagging her, and then you had the regular guys that live in the town that was also tagging as well. I'm gonna say it again, bro. I don't care what y'all think. It's very normal if y'all stay in them little small towns. You're gonna see a lot of obese people. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. It's gonna be obese, or it's gonna be old people that's there. Obese and old people that's there. Because normally when the kids get older, they'll go to college, or they'll go somewhere else and find work. So that's very common. So I'm gonna say this again. I don't know the exact demographic of the town, but I tell you what, a chick that's in her 40s, well, shit, the age don't even matter. You got chicks that in their 20s, they look terrible. Also, they wild on the outside. So a chick that look like that, regardless of her age, she gon' be a hot topic. That's for sure. So I don't care what you guys say. Gonna be somebody like, oh man, ain't tricking, ain't doing this. I understand, bro. I ain't saying it's not 100%, but she definitely have a large clientele. Cause look how she look. Look at the photos, bro. She was all her little skippy photos. Like, she got what it takes to bring all the boys to the yard. You know what I mean? So I'm telling you, bro. Like, it's guys out there. They going home to a wildebeest. You know what I mean? A damn water buffalo every day. So it's different when the lady that you with is no longer sexually attractive whatsoever. You just, oh man, you sleeping with her just to satisfy her because she asks for it or whatever. And when you got a female that's prancing around like that, and then she got it for the sale, that's a hard deal to pass up. So this is what it is. So 200, she gonna have a repeated clients, because them guys is going home, they over there busting their ass, doing 12s, going home to some sloppy, chalupa. The house probably ain't clean. You know what I mean? She ain't how she used to be when she was in her early 20s. Dudes ain't trying to, you know what I mean? They just really just beat it off, or just not do it anyway at all, other than being forced to sleep with their girlfriend or their wife. I'm telling you right now, I just get rid of them. But a lot of them be having kids and stuff, and they like, oh, I don't want to leave her, the kids. They don't want to break up a happy home. Well, they ain't happy. They don't want to break up a home. But that's just what it is. Like I said, she was charging $1,000 for a reason, because she knew she was a top chick in that neighborhood, in that town. And she looking at everybody like she ain't know but a whole bunch of fatbacks around here, so I know I got it. And then she got if she got a death grip on the too, nah, that's it. Don't get me wrong, you got the big girls, normally they have that too. Ain't nobody really messing with them like that. But if you got a chick that know what she doing in the bedroom, and she look, it's hard to pass that up, especially if you're in the town to where the females around there really ain't in shape. You know what I mean? They built like deep freezers and stuff like that. So what's your options gonna be? Like I said, you ain't gotta take her out, nothing like that either. So you looking at, okay, I ain't gotta take her out, I ain't gotta chase after her. That's her fee. It's on like Donkey Kong, and then that's a wrap. So those are the options those guys have in them towns like that. Because if you're in a bigger city, you have, you know what I mean, it's the chance of you run across a fit chick is, or I'm gonna say a chick that's in shape over a fat chick. It's more, you have more options to get a chick like that, compared to if you're in a small little town, then damn near all the females are obese. It's like, dang, then you run across a chick who look good, like, God dang, it's just what it is. So at the end of the day, it's your money, it's what you're gonna do with it. But I'm just telling you guys what they dealing with on a daily basis. So I see a lot of them guys all the time, man. I'm like, man, I don't see how you can just be with that female, bro. She 3 times his size. I see it all the time, especially at the supermarket. I'm like, man, that's why you be hearing stories about them guys be cheating and this and that. Yeah, because look what he got to go home to every day. Like, some guys don't care, but some guys, like, if he met her, in her prime, and then he slowly watched her let herself go over the years. You think he gonna? Oh yeah, that's still fun. No, he gonna be disgusted by that. So you see these fat females, majority of them are, well, females in general, especially nowadays, and the dating society is just trash. But you see a lot of them big girls, they be single for a reason. It's like, nah, because that's not normal. Even though you see that a lot in America, but at the end of the day, it's not normal. If I tell you guys all the time, if you get 10 guys lined up, and then you present fat chicks on one side, 5 fat chicks, and 5 in shape girls, they always 99.9 out of 10, they are always gonna choose the girls that's in shape. That's just what it is. So I tell people that, I say, if you just get in shape, because I met some cool big girls, but I tell them all the time, like, bro, if you just get in shape, you'll be married, you have kids and everything, you'll be set. And I'm talking about like stay at home mom type situation. But they never do that. But they got all the time in the world, and then next thing you know, they end up becoming a baby mama. It's just, this is what it is. So understand it. Understand the demographics. Like, no one wants to be laid up with a fat chick. You got some guys who do that, but that's not normal. So every time, it's like getting a young chick over an old chick. They always gonna pick the young chick. This is what it is. So understand it. I mean, what she's doing, it is illegal, but it's just what she got a high clientele for a reason. Now, if they wives, their girlfriends was in shape, they wouldn't be having them problems. But the fact that she has a high clientele and she charging 1,000, her husband charging 200 for her services, that tells you everything right there. Why is there so many guys that's going to her in that town? It's for a reason, because I guarantee if you pull up all the clients, all their wives, because at that time most of them people at these towns, all of them married. So you pull up all their wives on social media, I guarantee none of them gonna look as half as good as her. All of them gonna be fucking 7'1", 300 plus. That's a fact. So it's a no-brainer. That's what it is, man.
Now, what's the bottom line here? Essentially, the catcher sides ran this town. They had the police in their pocket. They could do whatever they want. And I don't understand why Ashley Ketcherside decided to get so involved in the local school. But these nosy moms at the local school board were like, hey, something doesn't add up. And they are the ones who found out this whole bag of worms. And I need you to understand this too. If Ashley Ketcherside just let this go after she was removed from the school board, no one would have known anything. The case would have been over. But the fact that she kept pressing and trying to out these women and get her revenge is the thing that took the whole thing down. So tell me what you think about this story. I think the police chief is done. He's done. The police chief should be put under the jail. And the other cop who is doing lawn work for sex, it's like, my God, how desperate can you be? Now, because we've talked a lot about the allegations, I must note these are all allegations and not facts. These people are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Now, do you believe that the district attorney's office has enough information to put these people behind bars? Are you convinced that they were running this prostitution scheme for over 10 years? Let me know in the comments section. I'm going to tell you what I think. I think they're done. I think whenever you got the text messages and the burner phone, essentially the story's over. You're looking for pleas. You're not looking to go to trial. But that's my opinion. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe to all that great YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer. I'm out. Here is Ashley Ketcherside's interview. Before she got arrested, here's her interview trying to defend the fact that she's not really a prostitute, even though they got the burner phone that says she's a prostitute.
You ain't got to see all that. We know what it is. She's just going to deny it. But, yeah, it is what it is, man. So, I mean, she in a small town. She definitely was cleaning up. Now, obviously, the more clients she get, the more money she makes. But, and if you're charging $200, which is a great price to a buyer, she got to be busy all the time, because that seemed like a lot, but it's like, unless you pull in like 1,000 a week off of that, which is 5 clients, which is cool. You got to at least pull 1,000 a week off that compared to you doing 1,000, which she was getting on both sides, right? Like, well, her husband was pimping out, so she wasn't getting none of that, but the $1,000, she was getting $1,000, so she was, she was doing 1,000, her husband was doing 200, so obviously she get a client a week from 1,000, then she do 5 a week. There you go, 1,200, 15, to whatever. Some weeks going to be slow, some weeks going to be busy, whatever. But it is what it is, because she literally don't have any competition. So not saying another prostitute, but it's just the fact that I'm pretty sure there's no other female that's in that neighborhood that look like her. Or if it is, like she ain't like that. She just a a regular old wife. She ain't out there just hitting the streets or whatever. So you got guys like, man, my wife, she big as hell, and my next door neighbor wife, look, she a dime. I would like to get something like that. So that's the thing too. Not saying like all the women there are just huge, but you might have some good looking women, but they not about that. You know what I mean? So you also have that. But outside of that, as far as a good looking chick, I'm pretty sure she holding her own, and she ain't got no competition like that. And then she's selling it on top of that, or she, even if she was like giving away or something. But either way, she ain't no other female in that town that's messing with her on that level. So I'm gonna say this: the reason why she got the attention was most likely because she, like look at her jealousy. That's pretty common. So they like, why she here and jealousy, and then they wonder, oh, let's see what she about or whatever. That what stirred it up, and then of course when they put her business out there on Front Street, that's when she wanted to retaliate. But that wasn't gonna do nothing because those some regular old women. They ain't got no dirt on them. But that's pretty much what it is. So at the end of the day, she gonna keep doing what she doing. The mother officers that got busted, it's a whole lot more of them. I want to see what's gonna happen with the whole police force. I know, well, not the whole police force, but all the males. I know a majority of them is gonna be from the police station. So, and the rest gonna be just be in the neighborhood or just around town. But yeah, that's what it is, man. You got guys who's like that. I'm looking at it like, well, you can't please your wife, so you might as well make money off of her, right? So I guess, but yeah, it's one of them stories, man. It's not surprised. I heard worse stories than that. But tell what you guys think about it. Do you think her neighbors was involved, or have you heard anything like this yourself? It's probably from your town or whatever. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you like, subscribe. If you can donate something to Cash App, I appreciate you. And yeah, until next time.